What are your reactions to the President's address tonight?
Yeah, well, I think it's a mixed bag. I think there were some really good things in there, particularly on the economy. It's straight out of the DA playbook. All the things the DA are doing, cutting red tape, making sure that you are creating a conducive environment for business. But the big concession tonight, for the first time ever, an ANC leader and president admitting that the state-led approach doesn't work and that you need to harness the private sector. That's what a drum we've been banging for many, many years in the DA, and I think that's a very positive shift. The big takeaway for me tonight was how much the president has pulled individuals from outside his party and outside his own organization into his office in government. Why is he not telling his cabinet ministers to be doing this thing? Surely the Minister of Small Business should be cutting the red tape. Surely these other people these responsibilities should be given to the ministers. I think it's a very clear sign the president's got a dummy cabinet around him who are unable to implement the plans that he would like to see for South Africa. And that's really the problem that bedevils every SONA. Great plans, great announcements. As we move from SONA, implementation fails. You have ideological pushback from within ministries, etc. So I hope the president's going to be able to take his party along with what he's announced, not because it's certainly a radical departure from anything that they've done before. And I think, as I said, we will support anything that brings growth and development to South Africa and creates jobs. For me, the big omission tonight was how we're going to catch up those young students, learners at schools who've lost 50% of their learning. We've already seen that literacy and numeracy have declined dramatically over the course of the last year and a half, thanks to the madcap policy of rotational learning. And I think that there should have been a far more focus on how we're going to help them to catch up so we don't end up with a lost generation of South African learners who are faced with a lack of skills to be able to compete. Then the other thing I think is very important is, he spoke again about corruption tonight. And I'm afraid he can talk till he's blue in the face until the time that you see the first high-profile conviction in jail. That's when you know we're going to be serious. The NPA has not been able to. I think they've been moving very slowly. They're not doing the work as quickly as we would like, and it's causing exasperation and frustration. So I think that what we need to see is far more focus on how we're going to fight corruption. And again, the president's big test is going to come because many of those people in the Zondo Commission report are sitting around his cabinet table. They're sitting around the headquarters at Luthuli House. How's he going to take action against them? And I think that we also then need to make sure we've got a fit-for-purpose corruption-busting agency that's designed specifically to detect and prosecute corruption in a multidisciplinary kind of way. So I think, like most SONAs, very good ideals. It's all going to come down to the implementation. And if you want some help with it, the DA is ready. We're already doing many of these things in the governments where we're running, and we're happy to assist in getting our economy back on track. But very, very glad that the ANC, well, certainly their president, has abandoned the state-led growth approach of the ANC, which has caused so much destruction.
Okay. Parting shots, what are your sentiments to millions of South Africans who are today left hopeless and have absolutely no faith in the ANC and government?
Well, the reality is that many of the good things that have been announced tonight are not going to be achieved, and people need to understand that. Last year we were promised a digital migration. We were promised that the Rural Development Agency was going to be up and running. It never materialized. We were told that at the end of last year, bid window 6 would be open. I think that if you're living in a shack in South Africa and you're looking for a way out for yourself and your family, the only help that's going to be on your way is when we get a new government in place with new ministers around the table that are able to change things. You're not going to win a war with the same generals sitting around the table losing the war. You're going to need a new set of people around. So the president talks about a new consensus. I agree with him, but the new consensus should be a new government that's sitting around making decisions, because that's how we're going to get growth, that's how we're going to get people into work, and that's how we're going to build a society of opportunity.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.